All right, guys. So, my name is Gediminas, and as always, we meet here on Thursday evening. And today's topic is 5 tips for creating video. There actually might be more than 5 tips, but there's 5 main sort of topics that I wanted to touch on to do with creating videos, to do with filming videos, etc. So, hi Pam, hey Keisha, hi everybody, guys. All right, so what's the tip number one? Well, tip number one for creating videos is you have to have a theme or you have to have a topic. Unless you are so irresistibly beautiful to watch that, people will watch you regardless of what you're talking about, then you need to have an actual topic. The amount of people that I see that go live on Facebook or they post videos, etc., and those videos are literally about nothing. It's just literally just people talking, and for me personally, I don't get that, and I don't watch that, because if I get few of those videos from somebody, I watch it once, I watch it twice, and I see that their videos are about nothing, basically there's no topic, there's no theme there, then I will stop watching it, because it's just a waste of time. If you turned on your television and there was a program that just random stuff happened, and it didn't really serve any purpose, then how many times would you watch it? You'd stop watching it. So what you want to make sure that what you're talking about is relevant. Now, it has to be relevant, first of all, to your audience, so to the people you're trying to reach, right? So you might be doing your videos for different purposes. You might be doing maybe a product demonstration video, which I would guess then your audience are potential customers who could be buying this product from you. You might be doing a video about business opportunity, right? Which then I would guess your audience is people who are prospects, basically, who potentially could join your business, right? So whenever you're doing a video, you need to think, who am I doing this video for? Or who am I directing it to? Also, it has to be relevant to your brand. Now, I'm not talking it has to be relevant to the company, FM World or whatever, but your brand. You are a brand. If you haven't realized it yet, you are a brand as a person. Yes, you are building business with FM World or with whatever company, you might be building it, but the company is not your brand. You are the brand. So you will have your own little style, you'll have your own way you're coming across, and you'll have your own charisma, etc. So you want to make sure that what you, again, the videos that you're doing, they are consistent with your brand, with who you're trying to be portrayed as, who you're trying to show yourself as, etc. So if you a funny person, and you want to be, you want people to look at you as a funny person, then probably all of your videos will be funny with loads of humor, etc. If you want to be looked at as an expert in that particular field, then you might come across as quite serious, etc. So whatever you're trying to do, it has to be consistent with your brand, and it also has to be relevant to your community, right? So again, if I'm doing a Facebook Live on my personal Facebook account, that means that people who are going to see that video are most of those people are my friends. So that's the community I'm broadcasting to. However, if I'm doing a video on my business page, Gediminas Grinavich's home-based business coach, then I will be broadcasting it to that community, for people who follow that particular page. So I might tailor make it in a different way if I'm doing it on different platforms, right? So again, you need to think about that. But the main idea of tip number one, you have to have a topic. So prepare in advance. You shouldn't be thinking of what am I going to talk about as you're starting to do a video. You should think about it in advance. So before I start a video, I always go, okay, so what are we going to talk about today? Even this Zoom, for example, right? So, every Thursday I run a Zoom, right, on different training topics, but I make a decision on what topic we're going to talk about in advance. I don't just roll up and go, okay, what should we talk about, guys, etc., because that would just be boring. It wouldn't serve the purpose. So that you need to think in advance, what am I going to do it on, right? Okay, so that's tip number one. Tip number two is you need to bring value. Your videos that you're doing, whether it's about the product or it's about a business or it's about personal development or personal growth or about anything that you're doing, or maybe you're going to be doing videos about a particular hobby, right? So you might be doing videos on knitting, on running, on cycling, on dog walking, on whatever, your hobbies and passions are about, right? So if you're doing a video, it has to bring some sort of value to the person who is watching. because this is how you build your brand. This is how you build your following. This is how you build your audience, because people, when they watch your video once and they get some value, they go, oh, you know, I need to come back again. They come back again and they get more value. They go, wow, I need to come back again. And that's how you start building your tribe. This is how you start building your audience, you know, your following of people who follow what you do, etc. And they want to, you know, and hopefully, you know, one day they might decide actually to buy a product from you, or they might decide to join your business because they got so much value from you. You know, there are trainers that I follow all the time, and I buy their trainings because they give me so much value for free in their videos and their trainings and the webinars, that when they decide to do some offer and sell some program, I almost feel guilty not to buy it, because I got so much from those guys. I just want to go ahead and get that course. And also, I know that it's going to be great value, because if that person gave me a lot of value for free already, then if he, you know, starts selling a course for $50 or $100 or $300, I know there's going to be even more value in that. You know, so I'm going to go ahead and going to purchase that, you know, because I know that's going to be probably very, very valuable for me. So that's what you really want to do. You want to make sure that whatever, you know, content you're producing, there has to be some sort of value, right? So what value is this person going to get from that video, right? So, you know, and also if it has a lot of value, the video that you're doing, it's going to become shareable. Because, you know, one of the things that you can do, that something that I do very often on my live Facebook lives and things, I say at the end of it, I say, hey guys, if you got some value from this video, do hit the share button, you know, so that other people can get the same value. And if you were watching my video and you generally got some value, and I ask you now as a favor to go ahead and share that video, you'll be a lot more likely to share, because you did get some value. But if the video was not interesting, if it was boring, if you got no value from it, and then at the end of it, I go, hey guys, please share, you'll go, well, why would I share this rubbish? You know, it's garbage. You know, I don't want to share it. I don't want other people to see this rubbish, right? So you want to really produce value there, right? And it also then becomes likable, where people will like it, or they do hearts or whatever, right? They will comment on it, right? So again, if your video is valuable, if it sort of gets under person's skin and gets them thinking, etc., the chances are they will comment on it. They will either agree with you or they'll disagree with you, and that's okay too. You know, don't be afraid of haters, you know, because there's always haters out there. You know, as soon as you start doing live videos or you start putting content on YouTube, you'll get some people who will be, you know, saying bad stuff, you know, and sometimes completely unjustified. You know, they'll just do it, you know, to mess with you, you know, and things like that. They'll go, oh, whatever, this is rubbish, etc. So don't worry about it. You know, I always say there's no bad publicity. You know, whatever, if people are commenting, it's in the eyes of social media, let's say Facebook, right? If you're doing a Facebook live, right, and somebody puts a bad comment under your video, in Facebook eyes, it's engaging. That means it's a good content, and Facebook will push it up. So even if it's a bad content, it's good for you as a producer of content, because the Facebook will push your content up and it will show it to more people, right? So even if it's bad comments, it's no problem, right? You can still do it, right? And it's also going to make it taggable. You know, so again, if you're providing really good value in your video, you can again ask people either during the video or at the end of the video, say, hey, tag somebody who you think will get value from this, or tag somebody who has this challenge, or tag somebody who loves this type of product, or tag somebody who, you know, would enjoy watching this type of video, or whatever, right? And people will do that, you know. And some you know, some videos might be really, really, you know, to do with your, you know, topic, or with your tribe, or with your community that you're building, etc. But some posts might be just funny stuff, you know. It might be a rant, you know, like sometimes, you know, I follow other trainers, etc., and they have like a style which they follow all the time, and they do these type of training videos, etc. But once in a while, they're going to go on a rant, you know, because they got pissed off by somebody, or, you know, whatever. And it's like, you know, they'll do it in a nice and politically correct way, but they will go on a little rant where they're going to go, hey, you know, how can people do this and that and blah, 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 right? So they might do a bit of controversial content or whatever, or sometimes funny stuff. You know, actually a few days ago, I saw this funny post about pizza, right? It was a huge pizza, a bunch of people eating that pizza, and it said, tag somebody who you would share this pizza with, right? In my language, in Lithuanian language, right? So I thought, that it sounds like a funny post. Let me copy this post and put it on my page. And I put it on my page, and so far that post reached 30,000 people. There's about 500 people who actually tagged somebody onto that post, right? And it's completely, it has nothing to do with me as a business coach, right? But it was just funny. I thought that people will enjoy it, right? And they will comment on it and they will like it, etc. And they did really, So some of your videos might be slightly different of your style or whatever, just to sort of mix it up and to engage people, etc. So don't worry about that too much. But mostly, like I said earlier on, try to first of all have a topic, in advance. So what are you going to talk about, and then bring some value, in that content, in that video that you're going to produce. Because, like I said, unless you're so irresistibly beautiful that people will watch you anyway, it doesn't matter what you talk about, then you have to have some sort of some value in it. Because if you don't, people will watch it once, they will watch it twice, third time they're not going to come back, because they're going to go, well, most of the time that person just talks about nothing. They just talk about weather, and it's just not very engaging, right? So that's tip number 2. Bring the value in your content in order for it to be shareable, likable, commentable, taggable, etc. Right? So bring some energy in it. If you're doing a live video, etc., make sure that you are yourself, but you're the best self. So bring your energy up. Become engaging, etc. Right? And be relevant. Okay. Tip number 3. Tip number 3 is do it in as interesting way as you can do it, right? So it's not just about delivering the content sometimes, but it's also how you deliver it. So for example, if you can choose, for example, a nice background, right? Or interesting location to shoot your video, that will increase the likelihood of people watching it. Or if you wear something that is, again, eye-catching, right? Or if you apply beautiful makeup on you like I did today, right? Or you do a fantastic hairdo like me, right? Right? But in a way that, you want your videos to be catchy, so even sometimes you can wear a silly hat or some glasses, or whatever, right? So that people, when they sees your video maybe in the Facebook feed or somewhere, on YouTube or whatever, it stands out and they go, oh, let me watch that video. And for example, on YouTube, if you're uploading your videos on YouTube, you can also choose a thumbnail that is custom, right? So you can just upload a video and choose a thumbnail for the video as, one of the shots from the video, but you can also upload a custom thumbnail, which can be colorful or a picture of you or whatever, right? So that can catch somebody's eye as well, but you want to make sure that it's in an interesting way as possible. And the actual topic, so the actual idea that you're putting across, again, try to put it in a way that is interesting and engaging and that will keep people interested, right? One of the things you want to do as soon as you start the video, tell people what it is going to be about, right? Because again, I see time and time again where people start the video and it takes them like a minute to get to the actual point they're going to talk about. And guess what? People's attention spans are very, very short nowadays. So a lot of people won't even get to that minute, right? After they get, 20, 30 seconds of nothing, of blah, they'll just go, whatever, my life is too short for this stuff, right? So you want to make sure as soon as you start, you say, okay, this is what we're going to talk about today. In the next few minutes, I'm going to explain this, that, and the other. I'll answer this problem. Or I'll show you this product demonstration, or I'll, whatever, right? So whatever your video is about. Okay. Tip number 4, make sure that you have decent lighting and decent sound, right? So again, sometimes you'll be in noisy locations, etc., and you might have some interference, etc. But you need to try and have as much, good lighting as possible and good sound, So now it's not that difficult anymore as it used to be, like even 5 years ago or so. You had to have a pretty decent camera in order to be able to shoot good quality videos, But now, most of our phones, they have really good cameras. They really have good sound. But simple thing like putting your earphones in will improve the quality of the sound, than if you just talk to your phone like that. Right? So if you want to really, for example, if you're in a windy location where there's a lot of wind, you might want to pop your earphones on, right? Or if there's like other people talking around, etc. You know, if you're going to do something a little bit more professional, like if you're going to have a camera, you know, which is a HD camera or whatever, then you might want to actually invest in buying a mic, you know, that you can wear, and it records the sound separately, and then you merge the two together. You know, you have a good video and good sound. Again, it doesn't have to cost a fortune, but to begin with, don't go ahead and buy expensive cameras and expensive equipment. Just use your phone, etc. But make sure if you're doing a video like now, I'm just doing it in a room, so I popped a light on, right? Because if I didn't, it'd be too dark, you know. And you know, if I'm doing something that, you know, is very, very important, I might even pop an extra light, you know, so there is plenty of light so you can see it clearly, etc., and hear it clearly, etc. So that's something, you know, that you want to do with your videos, you know, that it's easily then consumable. Because if the sound is bad or if the video is bad, it becomes harder to consume that content for somebody. And again, there's a chance that they will click off and they will not watch it, right? Okay, and then tip number 5, when in doubt, make it quick. You know, because like I said, attention span is short. So you want to make sure that, you know, especially when you first start doing your content, you do it as short as possible. Be concise. You know, you don't need to do a Facebook Live that is 1 hour long. You know, you can start with short content, etc. And that, you know, that prevents you from just babbling, etc. But it also keeps people engaged. You know, most of my videos that I do for my team, for example, etc., actually, it was good that WhatsApp, I don't know, but I think even today still, WhatsApp only allows you to send a video that is 3 minutes long. So when I started doing videos for my team, and I had a WhatsApp group for my team, and I had a Facebook group, I would always try to do a video that is less than 3 minutes so that I could send it on WhatsApp to my team and I could upload it to YouTube. So it was a very good school for me and a very good, you know, training the habit of being concise and being quick with the idea that I want to pass, instead of just going on and on and on. I would always be worried that I need to fit this in 3 minutes, right? So if you practice with that, it can be really, really helpful, you know. And then later, of course, if you have something, you know, bigger topics, etc., you obviously will do longer videos, etc. But that's, again, one of the ways. Okay, so where you're going to do these videos, you know, and how you're going to produce this content. Again, if you're using your phone, it's absolutely fine. And then you can start thinking, how am I going to produce this content and where I'm going to produce it? Now, a lot of people, because they're too shy, they don't want to, you know, embarrass themselves or whatever, they will do pre-recorded videos, right? So they'll stick the camera and they will record the video, and then they will make a decision whether I want to publish or not, right? So they have to be perfect and everything, right? But actually, the most engaging content is, of course, live content. And great thing about it is that now it's very, very easy to do it. You know, one way is Facebook, right? So on Facebook, you can do Facebook Live, and you know, you can do Facebook Live on your main Facebook profile, which that means that all of your friends will see that video, etc. Or you can do live inside a group. So for example, if you have a group for your team, or you have a group for your potential customers, or you have a group for personal development or for whatever, you can do the live video inside the group, which means that then only people in the group will see that live video. Or you can do a live video on your page. So if you have a business page, or you have a product page, or you have whatever page, you can also do a video on the page, right? So this way you can test it out and see different, you know, ways how it works, etc. Now, at the moment, I think you will reach most people if you do the Facebook Live on your personal profile than on your page, because Facebook, just the way it works, it prefers the content from a profile than from a page. But it depends how big your page. The bigger your page will grow, the more followers you'll have, the more people you will reach with those videos too. So you want to make sure that you do build your pages, etc., because your personal profile is limited to just 5,000 friends. You know, once you reach 5,000, that's it. Whereas your Facebook page is not limited. You can have 10,000, 50,000, 100,000 people on your page, etc. So eventually you can reach more people with your page. Another way to do live videos is Periscope. Periscope is, I think it's together with Twitter, but you don't have to use Twitter to use Periscope, but you can use Periscope again to do live videos. Now, Periscope is very similar to Facebook Live. You basically just go on there, do a live video, etc. But something that is a little bit different about Periscope, it has location, which basically means that sometimes people will watch videos within the local area. So they'll go, okay, who's live in Ireland right now, right? Or who's live in Scotland right now, or who's live in London right now, right? So they can catch your video by location. So that means a person can come on your Periscope that is not your friend, they, you know, whatever, right? They haven't followed you before, etc. So it's just a different way of attracting new people, because in Facebook, for somebody to see your video, they either have to be your friend, or your friend had to share that video for them to see it, etc. But on Periscope, it works slightly differently. And again, you can virtually do the same content. So you could do the same video on Facebook Live and then go on Periscope and do exactly the same video, because there's going to be different people watching it on that platform, and again, build your following too. Now, also something that is very cool, you know, before, when they first started Facebook Live, you could only do the Facebook Live if you had your phone vertically, right? But it's no longer the case. You can actually now do Facebook Live, you know, using your phone horizontally, which basically means that once you've finished your Facebook Live, you can then save the video onto your computer and then share the same video on YouTube, right? Now, the reason for that is because YouTube is a search engine. That means it's searchable, right? Because on Facebook, if you did your video, etc., nobody can search. Like, let's say I did a Facebook Live on 5 ways to problem solve. Nobody can go on Facebook and search problem solving and my video pops up. It's never going to happen. But if I put the same video on YouTube and I make a title, 5 ways to solve problems, somebody can come on YouTube, you know, search that topic, and my video will pop up. Now, I don't know how many of you know how to save a Facebook Live. So actually, let me go ahead and see if I could share my screen and show to you how it could be done. So let me just go onto my thing. Let me find a video, and then I'll try to share my screen so that this way you can see, guys, how to actually do it. Where is my live? I did one a couple of days ago. There it is. Okay, so let me go ahead now and share my screen. Where are we? Share screen, desktop, share screen. Okay, so you guys should be able to see my screen. So this was a video I did a couple of days ago, and this was a live. So I did this on my personal profile. I did this live video. Now, if I right-click this live video, it doesn't give me an option to save this video, right? But there is a trick that you can do in order to save it. So what you do, you click on Show Video URL, and it gives you the URL for the video. So then you select the whole URL for this video, and then you open the video in a new tab, right? So you enter that URL at the top. Then what you do, at the top here, where it says www.facebook, instead of the 3 W's, you change it into M, which stands for mobile, and you hit enter. So it opens the video again, but now in a mobile format. So you click play, pause it, and then right-click it, and now it gives you an option to save video as. So now I can go ahead and save this video onto my computer. And that's it. So now it's saved on my computer, and now I have it as an MP4 file on my computer, and I can go ahead and share it now on other pages, on YouTube, on other platforms, etc. So hope this helps, you know, hope this little tip helps, so you can save. And this is actually not just your own videos, you can actually save anybody's video like that off of YouTube, off of Facebook, right? So you can then download those videos onto your computer and go ahead and publish them elsewhere. So that's one of the things. You can also you know, use webinar facilities, but webinars are usually paid, you know, which, you know, I don't want you to start spending money as soon as you start. So one of the free ways to do webinars is Zoom. So again, I don't know how many of you guys use Zoom. Zoom is very, very straightforward. You just go to zoom.us, create a little account there, and you can straight away set up your own, like a Zoom meeting. You get a little URL, a little shareable link that you can then send to people. And a neat thing with Zoom is that people don't have to register or anything. They just click on the link and it takes them right into your broadcast or whatever, like you just came along today, right? So Zoom is really good as well because you can record it So after, you know, this Zoom, I'm actually recording this. So at the end of the Zoom, I can now go ahead, and this video will save onto my computer. And again, I can go ahead and put it on YouTube, on Facebook, on whatever I like. So again, that content lives on. You know, what the reason why I like creating content, whether it's video or audio or pictures or blogs or whatever, is that it's what they call virtual real estate. You know, I might record a business opportunity presentation video, right? I put it on YouTube, and it's going to be there for the rest of my life, right? So that means that video is now working for me 24/7, right? Somebody can see that video a week from now, a month from now, a year from now, 10 years from now, and contact me saying, hey, I saw your video, I'm interested in your business, or I saw your video, I'm interested in your product, or I saw your video, you know, I like to, you know, become your student or your, you know, coaching client or whatever, right? So this is basically, it's content that works for you. So the more of that content you produce, the more you put it out there, the more people you will attract, you know, because there's two ways how we can attract people to us. You know, one is what is called prospecting, which is basically when we actively reach out to people. So we might be messaging people or putting advertisements or doing whatnot, etc. So we're basically actively reaching out to people. The other way of attracting people is marketing. Marketing is when you put some content out there and people basically reach out to you, which obviously eventually that's really what you want to do. You want to have people coming to you every single day without you having to look for people, right? So the one way to do that is actually by sharing content, by putting it out there. And with Zoom, a good thing about Zoom that, I mean, you don't have to have attendees. I could be on my own now here, talking to myself, right, recording this video, and then once this video is recorded, I can share it to other places, etc. So like, you don't even need any software now to film yourself or to do videos, etc., because Zoom can do that for you. And as you just saw, you can also share screen, and you can do loads of different things. You know, you can share slides on this, etc. So you could do a business opportunity presentation, you could do a product demo, you know, applying some makeup on you, or doing some, you know, home cleaning product demonstrations or whatever. So there's so many different ways you can use video in order to attract more people, in order to build your audience, etc. Right? So that's really what I wanted to share with you today. You know, one thing to finish off, to bear in mind that platforms are changing. So new platforms are appearing, and the existing platforms are changing. So some things that work today, they might not work tomorrow, and they might be different, whatever. So one thing you want to do is develop what we call behavioral flexibility. You know, don't get too attached with things, or don't get too upset when things start changing, because that's inevitable. You know, things will change, things will adapt, things will progress, you know. So you want to always be trying out new things, experimenting with them, etc., and looking how it works, etc., because otherwise you will get left behind. You know, you can be one of those people who, no, you know, it's only this way. You know, I know how to do this, and I'm only going to do that. But guess what? You're going to miss out then on a lot of it. You know, so as these new platforms comes in, as these new apps come out, etc., try them, experiment with them, play with them, and use them. You know, because that can give you a lot of different value. You know, like the other day I shared a little thing on my Facebook where I took a little screenshot that on my YouTube channel, there's now over 100,000 views on my YouTube channel, right? And it just mind boggles me to think that, you know, like people have watched the videos on my channel more than 100,000 times. But then, like, I checked my YouTube channel like a day ago, and it was like 99,930, right? So I was like 70 missing, right? And then I checked it yesterday, and it was already 100,070. So I was like, that's like 100 views in a day, right? So basically, just for me, it just really is crazy if you think about it, because if you start putting content out there, there's thousands and thousands of people that can see it and potentially reach out to you, purchase products, or join your business, etc. So if you're not doing it, it's just like, my only question is why? You know, because you're missing out a lot. You know, so I hope, guys, these tips were useful. I hope you're going to use that for your business, for anything else as well. Have a fantastic rest of your Thursday, guy. As always, I'll see you at the top. Now,